Let's get right into it. Number 1. The brain, a jellyfish's DIY project. Let's start with the part of you that's reading this sentence. Well, technically your eyeballs are reading it, but your brain is doing the heavy lifting, if you can call interpreting pixels and spiraling into existential dread lifting. The human brain is often painted as this miraculous command center of consciousness, thought, language, creativity. And while that's true, it's also, evolutionarily speaking, kind of a hacked-together panic blob. Think of it as a haunted mansion built on top of increasingly janky basement levels. The oldest parts, like your brainstem and limbic system, are basically leftover code from your lizard ancestors. Then mammals showed up, slapped on some emotion processing upgrades, and finally humans duct-taped on a wrinkly pink cerebrum so we could feel guilty about forgetting birthdays. But here's the fun part. Scientists believe the brain may have evolved from a nerve net, like the ones found in jellyfish. That's right. Your thoughts, dreams, and intrusive memories of that one embarrassing thing you said in 7th grade. All brought to you by what is basically a more complicated jellyfish goosack. And despite all its evolution, your brain still freaks out like a startled raccoon when it hears a twig snap in the woods. That's why a car backfiring makes you drop your phone like you're in a war zone. Evolution didn't design you to survive traffic. It designed you to dodge saber-toothed tigers and probably die before 30. So yes, your brain is amazing. But it's also a twitchy, jello-based upgrade built on prehistoric panic. Number 2. The appendix, nature's junk drawer. The appendix is like that weird kitchen drawer filled with expired soy sauce packets, twist ties, and IKEA screws from a shelf you don't own anymore. It's there, it doesn't do much, but you might need it one day. For a long time, scientists thought the appendix was the ultimate evolutionary oops. Like your body started building something, got distracted, and just left it there. And for centuries, all it really did was explode randomly and try to kill you from the inside. But more recent research suggests the appendix might actually have a job, sort of. Turns out it's a backup storage site for good gut bacteria. When you get wrecked by food poisoning or antibiotics, the appendix can help reboot your gut microbiome. It's basically a bacterial safe house. Still, it's hilariously bad at PR. You don't hear people saying, "Thank goodness for my appendix." No, you hear things like, "I had to get my appendix removed or I was going to die in a Chili's." And here's the kicker. Not all animals even have one. Some herbivores have giant cecums, the digestive region the appendix is part of, to help break down plant matter. Humans? We kind of have the stubby version. It's like nature said, let's give them just enough to keep it dangerous. So the next time you're grateful for your organs, maybe give your appendix a nod. Or don't. It's probably plotting something. Number 3. Goosebumps, a fluffy defense mechanism. Ever gotten goosebumps during a sad song or when it's 72 degrees and someone mentions ghosts? That's your ancient fur coat trying to activate. You don't have fur anymore, but your body's too nostalgic to let it go. Goosebumps are controlled by teeny little muscles at the base of hair follicles. In animals with actual fur, these muscles puff the hair up to trap heat or make them look bigger when they're scared. It's nature's way of saying, back off, I'm enormous. Even if you're a trembling squirrel. For humans, the effect is a little less intimidating. It's just chicken skin, which would be fine if it didn't also show up when you're emotional. Romantic music? Goosebumps. Heartfelt speech? Goosebumps. That commercial with the golden retriever and the soldier coming home? You're a lumpy mess. But why? Scientists think it's a leftover sympathetic nervous response. Fight or flight gets triggered, your body thinks something intense is happening, and boom, the fluff reflex kicks in. Never mind that the only thing you're fighting is a piano chord progression. It's one of those charming reminders that your body still thinks it lives in a cave and might need to fight a bear, or seduce one with emotional vulnerability. So yeah, goosebumps. Adorable in theory, completely useless in practice, and yet another reason your body is one big biological scrapbook. Number 4. Male nipples, evolution's shrug emoji. This one is awkward, pointless, and surprisingly controversial for something that just sits there. So here's the deal. All human embryos start off with the same basic template, one-size-fits-all body blueprints. And that blueprint includes nipples, because they show up before the body even knows whether it's going to be male or female. By the time the sex hormones start shaping the rest of the fetus, nipples are already installed, like software no one uses but can't uninstall. Functionally, male nipples do basically nothing. They're like those buttons on jeans that aren't connected to any purpose. Just there because someone said, "Sure, leave him." But don't worry, evolution hasn't just been ignoring them. In extremely rare cases, male mammals can lactate under weird hormonal conditions. There are even animals, like some bats, where the males breastfeed. Yes, bats. So if you ever want to feel like evolution's a drunk improv comic, there you go. Also, there's a mild risk of breast cancer in men, which is another reminder that these things aren't just decorative, they come with warranty issues. In conclusion, male nipples. They're by default staying out of trouble, and occasionally reminding you that biology just kind of wings it sometimes. Number 5. Tonsils. Immune system's bouncer, who might also stab you. Tonsils are like the overly enthusiastic security guards of your throat. They're posted up near the entrance of your airways, ready to catch bacteria, viruses, and the occasional snack crumb that dares to trespass. They're part of your immune system's first line of defense, standing there with microscopic sunglasses and tiny radios, yelling, "Code Red, incoming strep." Except, they're also super bad at their jobs. You see, tonsils have this habit of getting infected themselves, like a bouncer who catches the flu and just starts coughing on everyone in line. Ever had strep throat? Yeah, that was probably your tonsils turning into rage balloons and trying to choke you from inside your own neck. And don't even get me started on tonsil stones, those foul-smelling calcified blobs that can form in the crypts of your tonsils. It's like your throat decided to store little deposits of shame and bad breath for you to discover during a sneeze. At one point, tonsil removal was all the rage. Doctors were yanking them out like weeds from every kid with a sore throat. But now, the medical world has cooled down and decided that, hey, maybe these weird fleshy gatekeepers are doing something useful after all. So, they're kind of like that one friend who causes drama but still shows up with snacks and good intentions. Annoying but not useless enough to cut off, unless they go full traitor. Number 6. Coccyx, the ghost of Tailbones' past. Ah yes, the coccyx, or as it's more commonly known, the tailbone. This little nub at the bottom of your spine is the evolutionary equivalent of your body still owning a VCR. See, once upon a time, your distant ancestors had tails. Not cute ones either, like full-on animal tails used for balance, swatting flies, and dramatic flair. But humans evolved upright posture, better hands, and no real need for swinging from trees. So the tail got demoted, and all that's left is the coccyx. A sad little triangle of bones, sitting there, collecting spinal dust. So useless, in fact, that the only time you notice it is when you fall on it. Then it becomes the most painfully noticeable part of your entire body. The kind of pain that echoes through your soul and makes you reevaluate every decision that led you to sit on that icy step. But guess what? It's technically still useful. A little. The coccyx anchors some muscles and ligaments, including ones that help you, poop. So don't get too cocky about living without your tailbone. It's holding together some pretty key plumbing. Still, it's wild that you're walking around with a literal tail stub fused to your spine, like a relic from an evolutionary garage sale. It's the skeletal equivalent of a flip phone duct-taped to an iPhone. Number 7. The spleen, drama queen of the immune system. Let's talk about your spleen, if you even remembered you had one. It's tucked away in your abdomen like a backup dancer who occasionally tries to steal the spotlight by rupturing. The spleen's main job is filtering blood and recycling old red blood cells. It's also a lymphoid organ, meaning it's got some immune system street cred. Basically, it's like the spleen saw what the liver was doing and went, "Yeah, I'll try that, but Messier." It also helps fight certain bacteria, but it's a little too eager sometimes. Infections like mononucleosis can make it swell up to the size of a baseball, and if you get hit in the gut while that's happening, can burst, just explode, like a water balloon full of blood. Doctors actually monitor that risk super closely, because a ruptured spleen is a medical emergency that can kill you faster than you can say, "Wait, I thought the spleen was optional. And yes, technically, you can live without it. Other organs pick up the slack like tired co-workers muttering under their breath. But if you do lose it, your immune system never quite hits the same level again. You become more vulnerable to certain infections and might need vaccines or meds for the rest of your life. So the spleen is one of those weirdly important team members who gets no recognition until they rage quit mid-shift. Number 8. The pineal gland, your inner Cyclops eye. Tucked deep in the middle of your brain is a tiny, pine-cone-shaped gland that's responsible for helping you fall asleep. Sounds normal enough, right? Well, the pineal gland used to be a literal eye. No, really. Some evolutionary ancestors of humans, like certain reptiles and fish, have a third eye that actually senses light through the skull. It's called the parietal eye, and it's basically a backup sun detector. In humans, that eye got downgraded over millions of years into the pineal gland, which now just chills in your brain and helps regulate your circadian rhythm by producing melatonin. But here's where it gets creepy. Even though it's buried in darkness, the pineal gland is still incredibly light-sensitive. Your brain uses signals from your eyes to tell it when to release melatonin, and it reacts like a vampire exposed to sunlight. One photon, and boom, melatonin levels drop, and your body screams, "Wake up!" And to make it weirder, the French philosopher Descartes once called the pineal gland the seat of the soul, which is a lot of pressure for something that mainly exists to yell, "Bedtime." So yeah, your inner eye didn't completely disappear. It just got demoted to night shift. Number 9. The liver, regeneration, revenge, and Greek torture. The liver doesn't get enough credit. It's the real MVP of your body, detoxifying blood, metabolizing everything from alcohol to medications, storing nutrients, and literally regenerating itself like some kind of squishy superhero. But let's not forget where this all started. Ancient evolution and a whole lot of mythological pain. The liver is so essential that even ancient Greeks figured it was special, so special, in fact, that they wrote a torture myth about it. In the tale of Prometheus, the Titan steals fire from the gods, and his punishment? He's chained to a rock where an eagle eats his liver every single day. And because the liver regenerates, it just keeps growing back. Infinite pain loop. Classic mythology move. Now, the creepy part? Science has since confirmed that yes, the liver really can regrow. Cut out a chunk of it and it'll regenerate back to almost full size. No other organ in your body does that. It's like if your couch ripped in half and just reassembled itself overnight. But it's not invincible. Liver cells get cranky when overworked, say, from heavy drinking or certain diseases, and when they give up, they go full scorched earth. Instead of regenerating neatly, they lay down scar tissue. That's cirrhosis. And once you're in that zone, your liver turns into a stiff, angry sponge with a grudge. So yes, it's a biological miracle, but also a very moody one. A regenerative powerhouse with the ability to bounce back unless you annoy it enough. Then it'll just quit out of spite. Basically, your liver is a magical internal sponge that forgives. Until it doesn't. Number 10. The placenta, disposable organ, hardcore job. Let's talk about the only organ your body grows temporarily, uses like a life support system, and then evicts like a used mattress. Meet the placenta. The weirdest organ you didn't even know your body could casually build on the fly. During pregnancy, the placenta forms and connects the fetus to the uterine wall. It transfers oxygen, nutrients, hormones, and waste in both directions. It's a nutritional vending machine and a biohazard waste bin rolled into one, and your body builds it with all the drama of assembling IKEA furniture while blindfolded. But here's the kicker. The placenta is technically part fetus and part mother. It's a hybrid organ that's genetically not even fully your own. Your body should be rejecting it like a bad kidney transplant, but thanks to some evolutionary dark magic, it's tolerated. Barely. The immune system basically agrees to not freak out, under the condition that the placenta behaves itself. Spoiler alert. Sometimes it doesn't. When things go wrong, like in preeclampsia or placenta previa, the result can be dangerous for both parent and baby. Because nothing says evolution like your own body growing a new organ that might randomly turn against you. Oh, and after birth? It gets expelled in what's gently referred to as the afterbirth. because calling it the bloody alien pancake your body chucked out after a 9-month lease apparently didn't test well in parenting books. So yes, the placenta, disposable, multifunctional, and the most metal organ your body has ever ghosted. Number 11. The pancreas sugar control with an identity crisis. The pancreas has a weird vibe. Is it an organ? A gland? A double agent? It can't decide. It moonlights as both an endocrine gland, regulating hormones, and a digestive organ, producing enzymes. Pick a lane, pancreas. Its biggest claim to fame is producing insulin, the hormone that tells your cells, hey, there's sugar in the blood. Let's use it before we go into full glucose meltdown. Without insulin, sugar just builds up, turning your bloodstream into syrup. That's diabetes, and it's not fun. But the pancreas also releases other enzymes into your digestive system to help break down fats, carbs, and proteins. It's like a little chem lab that lives next to your stomach and throws molecular parties after every meal. And yet, it's one of the most sensitive organs you've got. Pancreatitis, when it becomes inflamed, is excruciating. Like get me to the ER now levels of pain. And pancreatic cancer? Incredibly hard to detect early, notoriously deadly, and basically the villain that never monologues before striking. Oh, and evolution? Total jerk move. The pancreas evolved to be so fragile and so vital at the same time that damaging it is like breaking the lock and the key to your metabolic system. So yes, your pancreas is essential. But it's also a fragile perfectionist with the stress tolerance of a broken teacup. Number 12. The appendix, from digestive assistant to ticking time bomb. The appendix is the ultimate freeloader. For years, doctors thought it was just a leftover scrap from our plant-munching ancestors. A shriveled digestive pocket that used to help break down bark or whatever cavemen were chewing on before fire was invented. Now, it just hangs out in your lower right abdomen like a weird biological sidecar. Doesn't help with digestion. Doesn't really do much of anything. Unless, of course, it explodes. Appendicitis is one of those fun medical emergencies that sneaks up like a ninja with a knife. 1 minute, you're fine. The next, you're curled up on the bathroom floor Googling, why does my stomach hate me? If the appendix gets blocked and infected, it swells up like a hot, angry pimple of doom, and if it bursts, it can spill bacteria into your abdominal cavity. That's not just gross. That's life-threatening. And the fun part? Doctors still don't fully agree on what the appendix does. Some believe it's a safe house for beneficial gut bacteria, a kind of microbial panic room in case your digestive system gets flushed out by illness. So, a backup generator? A reset button? Great, but also maybe don't detonate? Evolutionary speaking, it's the weird relative your DNA won't cut off for sentimental reasons. Sure, it almost killed us. But remember when it maybe did something helpful once in the ancient past? And yet, we just accept it. We walk around every day with a potential biological grenade tucked in our gut like it's no big deal. So yes, the appendix is like that roommate who never pays rent and occasionally lights the kitchen on fire. Number 13. Skin. Your meatbag's biohazard suit. You don't usually think of your skin as an organ. You think of it as, well, the thing that holds all your other bits inside. But skin is actually your largest organ, and it's doing more jobs than half your internal workforce. Keeps bacteria out, regulates temperature, senses the world around you, produces vitamin D, and somehow still finds time to get acne the night before important events. But here's the thing. The origin of skin? Terrifyingly necessary. Early life forms didn't have it. They were just soft blobs floating around, absorbing whatever floated their way. But once things started moving on land, nature went, okay, we need a barrier. These squishy idiots are gonna dry out and die. So skin evolved. But not like a neat little wrap. It came with multiple layers, nerves, oil glands, melanin factories, and a surveillance system for invaders. It's like an organic hazmat suit with Wi-Fi and mood lighting. And if that wasn't weird enough, your skin sheds constantly. You're losing roughly 30,000 to 40,000 skin cells per minute. That dust on your bookshelf? It's you. Just flaked off ancient versions of you. Your own haunted house contribution. Also, the skin can taste things. Kinda. Researchers have found taste receptors in skin cells, especially for things like bitter compounds. So your skin isn't just your outer shell, it might be silently judging your food choices. In conclusion, your skin is a hyperactive, regenerating, constantly flaking meat cloak that doubles as a biochemical watchtower. And you've never sent it a thank you note. Number 14. Kidneys, blood filters with a flair for drama. Your kidneys are bean-shaped filters that quietly clean all the blood in your body every 30 minutes. Every 30 minutes. That's around 50 gallons of blood a day, just getting cleaned and balanced like it's no big deal. And yet, if they decide they're done, everything goes downhill fast. These little organs are micromanagers of the highest order. They regulate fluid levels, salt, potassium, blood pressure, red blood cell production, and acid-base balance. They're not just Brita filters. They're full-blown life support technicians. The evolutionary origin of kidneys is actually kind of wild. They started as basic excretion systems in ancient fish, designed to keep salt and water levels in check. But over time, they turned into full-on medical labs embedded in your back. With weird quirks, like the fact that you only need one. You have two, but one can do the job just fine. It's like evolution installed a backup just in case you decided to test gravity with a skateboard. Also, kidneys are petty. Dehydrate yourself? They panic and hoard water like it's gold. Eat too much protein? They sigh dramatically and work overtime. Lose function in both? Welcome to dialysis, where a machine has to do your kidney's job multiple times a week just to keep you alive. And yes, they can form stones. That's right, tiny mineral crystals with the pain level of medieval punishment. One moment you're sipping tea, the next you're writhing on the floor wondering if you're being stabbed by invisible elves. Kidneys. Hardworking, overqualified, and not afraid to make you pay for your dietary sins. Number 15. Hair. Evolution's flimsy leftover. Hair is weird. It doesn't do much anymore, but it still insists on growing out of our heads, armpits, and other places we're not going to name. Originally, hair was essential. Warmth, camouflage, and mate attraction. Our hairy ancestors had it all. But now, hair is mostly decorative, aesthetic, something we shave, dye, wax, or panic over when it falls out. But from a biological perspective, hair is dead tissue. Like, fully dead. It's just keratin strands being pushed out of tiny skin factories called follicles. The only living part is the follicle itself. Everything else? Literal protein rope. And yet, your body pours a ton of energy into producing it. Why? Well, evolutionary leftovers. And social pressure. But mostly leftovers. Your eyebrows help with sweat. Eyelashes keep stuff out of your eyes. Head hair? Theories range from sun protection to making you look smarter in ancient courtship rituals. Who knows? Maybe it's just scalp flare. Also, goosebumps? Those are leftover reflexes from when our ancestors' hair would puff up to make them look bigger. You, however, just look like a plucked chicken when you're cold. Hair's real flex, though? Growing after death. Or at least appearing to. As the body dehydrates, skin retracts, making hair and nails look longer. Which is why we associate hair with ghosts, vampires, and every creepy child in a horror movie. So yeah, hair. It's pointless, persistent, and kind of spooky. But at least you can style it. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.